If you're not happy with credit limit on a card, it can be best to use it for smaller payments rather than closing your account straight away. Photo Oli Scarf FGD Images Harry Rose 2 hours Tuesday, September 26, 2017. I hold several credit cards, which I use for different purposes. However, despite never missing a payment and having an excellent credit history, one of my providers contacted me out of the blue to say it would be reducing my credit limit. Can providers do that? Name and address supplied. Harry says yes, and there are a number of reasons why they might. For example, a provider might have taken a policy decision to reduce its overall exposure to debt, and so will cut credit limits across a group of customers. Credit card firms also review customers' credit limits on an individual basis and might decide to cut your limit based on analysis of your spending patterns and information received from credit reference agencies. It could be that they feel you do not use the limit sufficiently to warrant having such high credit. How credit providers manage risk. For providers, the credit business is all about managing exposure to debt. If you have a credit limit of £5,000, your provider needs to be able to lend you this amount and bear the risk of you not repaying. Lowering credit limits reduces the amount of potential debt a provider has to carry. In some cases, providers will make policy decisions to lower their credit limits across the board or for large numbers of customers. That reduces the bank's overall unused credit ratio, the gap between what borrowers have spent and what they have the potential to spend. Credit providers are under increasing pressure to lend responsibly, with the Financial Conduct Authority (FCA) preventing banks from increasing credit limits for struggling customers. In these circumstances, institutions may be especially eager to show they are providing customers with appropriate credit limits. How will reduced credit affect your credit score? If you don't regularly use your full credit limit and aren't planning to apply for a large loan, a lower credit limit may have little impact on you. But if you're carrying a balance on your card, a lower limit will increase what's known as your credit utilization rate, the amount of credit you're using compared to the limit on your card. Say your balance is £500. If your limit is £2,000, your credit utilization rate is 25%. But if your limit drops to £1,200, your rate jumps to over 40%. If you're applying for a loan including a mortgage, the lender will look at your current credit utilization rate. As a rule of thumb, it's advisable to keep this ratio under 30%. A higher rate can damage your credit score. What if your limit is lowered? If you believe your track record as a borrower is strong, check that there are no errors in your credit history. Under the Consumer Credit Act 1974, you have a legal right to access a copy of your credit report for £2 per credit reference agency. The main three are Experian, Equifax, and CalCredit. You can also access reports free through news services called ClearScore for Equifax and Nodal for CalCredit. If an error has been made on any of your reports, you can contact the credit reference agency or the relevant lender to get it rectified. If you want a higher limit to be restored, contact your provider and make your case. Perhaps you've used your card less due to an extended overseas holiday or an illness, or you might have a specific reason for wanting a higher credit limit. Your provider is under no obligation to change their decision, but providing an explanation may help. To prevent your credit score being dragged down, you should try to pay down any outstanding balances on the card. This will bring down your credit utilization rate and improve your credit score. If your provider doesn't change its mind, you could open a card with a new provider and transfer your balance. However, new card applications will be influenced by providers' lending policies and your credit history, so there would be no guarantee that you'd be offered more credit. You may be tempted to close your account, but this can backfire. Having access to a range of credit options can improve your credit score, even with a lower balance, and canceling your card immediately after the limit is reduced may set off alarm bells to other lenders. Keep using the card for smaller payments and pay off the balance in full each month. Harry Rose is the editor of Which Money magazine. To have your question featured on this page, email protectiveinustpsinus.co.uk.